.NET MAUI Community Updates just got better. New features in VS Code and Visual Studio. And let's take a look at ChatGPT. All this and more. I'm Adam Cogan. Ho, ho, ho. Let's get into it. Ho, ho, ho. This is Santa Claus coming to you for the SSW Tech News, and I'm here with Matt Goldman.
Thanks, Santa. I'm hoping this gets me on the nice list.
Yes, it will. Don't worry, if you've been a good boy. So, the first news will be, later on tonight, we're going to have Azure on a Budget, Build in the Cloud Without Breaking the Bank by Bryden. You looking forward to this?
I'm really looking forward to this, yeah.
Yeah, so he spends a lot of his time making sure that big clients aren't wasting money, and should be very interesting. So let's jump into the news. And the biggest news of the month, you'll love this.
Of course.
Having written a book on .NET MAUI, the .NET Community Toolkit got better. So what do you think of the first feature that they announced?
This is really cool, the expander. So in other UI frameworks, this is what we might sometimes call an accordion. So this is a really cool feature. In fact, there is an app that I've built, which is a meal ordering app, where I've got different sections of the menu that expand as you click on them. So this is perfect for that.
Awesome. And there's the dock layout as well.
Dock layout is cool. This is something that I have definitely needed in the past. It's a really, really cool feature. And
this might be the best feature of all. State container.
Absolutely. This is my favorite feature in this update. So this is when you've got different states in your app, like, you know, in the examples here, when something's loading or when you've got an error state and so on and so forth. Rather than having to update all the different elements in your UI individually when you know the state changes, you can just define these different states, and you can say this is what this looks like in this state, and then when there's a state change announced in the app, all of those UI elements will update and just change depending on the state. Really, really cool.
And what did you do for state in your book, since this wasn't out?
So in the book, I'm not really covering anything that uses this specifically in the book, but things that are similar to it. Well, so there's the Visual State Manager, which is built in .NET MAUI, and I do cover that in the book.
Yep.
This is for more sophisticated scenarios, so okay. I don't go to that level.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you care about Tizen support?
Absolutely. I absolutely care about Tizen support. Do you know why?
You must buy a lot of Samsung TVs.
I buy heaps of Samsung TVs. In fact, there's one right here. Oh, no, it's an LG.
Oh, no.
I really care about this because we're actually building apps for TVs right now. But internally at SSW, we can use this to create a build of Sophie Hub that will run directly on a TV.
And what's the download experience for an LG?
For an LG, we would probably... we could potentially do it on LG with, say, just a native Android app. We would probably want to do it with maybe like a NUC or something like we've done in the past.
Yeah.
But Tizen gives you a bit more sophistication and a bit more grunt. So we could probably run this directly on a Samsung TV.
And I should say, we've got several clients that are already spending a lot of money on getting onto MAUI.
Yeah, we do. That's true. That's true. We do. Yeah.
So and .NET 7 support, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
Etc. Okay. Next piece of news. Let's have a look. Next piece of news is Visual Studio Productivity. Now, what do you think of timestamps in the output window?
It's great, isn't it? I mean, this is something that you usually do yourself, and now you don't have to. I mean, depending on what you're doing with the logging, you may still want to do that. But you know, usually at debug, when you're writing things to the console, you might put the timestamp in it, and now you don't have to. That's awesome.
Don't you find it a bit weird that this wasn't already there?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, very strange. Yeah.
So quickly select matches. Now, if you use VS Code, you will see this a lot.
Yeah.
Important to get into Visual Studio?
Yeah, it's really helps you very quickly and easily visualize where different things are in your page and in your code. So yeah, it's super useful. Yeah.
Okay, and what's this? Scrolling horizontally with the mouse wheel. So we've obviously had this a long time for vertical.
Yeah.
Scrolling up and down. Have you ever needed to scroll to the right?
Absolutely, yeah.
What for?
Well, sometimes when I'm writing some code and I've got one line of code that's about 4,000 characters.
Please.
No, I don't do it. No, when it's really useful is when you're in Visual Studio and you've got, say, 2 or 3 windows docked side by side.
Right.
So that narrows the window. So then you can scroll horizontally, which is super useful.
Right. Okay. Oh, cool. Next one. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is VS Code. Lots of updates. Every month we get new updates. Now, you might like this remote tunnels. This is connecting to your own machine from when you're away.
That's right, yeah.
Ever needed this?
Yeah, I have actually, yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. So often, I might, I might use TeamViewer on my machine back
Yes,
home. I actually have a VPN set up so I can VPN to my home and then RDP to my machine and access it that way.
Okay.
But this is really cool. What this does is it lets you enable a tunnel from VS Code, which you can then access with a URL. So you can open a web browser on any machine and get to VS Code in your web browser as if you were using it on your own computer.
So you just got the browser onto your machine, no complexities. Because some places you can't even use VPNs.
That's right.
Or TeamViewer dies. It's really frustrating. Yeah. All right, awesome. Next piece of news. This is a GitHub feature. So there is Telnix. They are a partner, and you now get their scanning if you are, well, this is the more important part, a GitHub Advanced Security customer. So if you're a serious customer, you can now get the security scanning of this product. Okay?
It's cool.
Another piece of value add. I'm trying to get you to pay for GitHub now. And on the same line, we now have secret scanning for GitHub. Now, we've had this for a long, long time. All right?
We've had it
in source code. Oh, I wondered if you actually knew. Right, okay, you picked it up, right. Yeah, so this is looking not at your code, at your issues and pull requests and things.
Yeah, that's right. That's cool.
I hadn't actually thought of this as a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, first time I saw it, I thought, what's new? Yeah, there you go. So have you ever come across an issue that has secrets in it or pull requests?
Yeah, kind of, yes, yeah. So so the kind of secrets that this is looking for, I'd have to check. I don't know if it would find it or not. But we've had things where we've had files or reference things that have gone into pull requests, issues and pull requests that we wouldn't want to merge into the repo. Now I don't know if GitHub would pick it up. So sometimes things you might have content like an Excel file, for example. Yeah, this kind of stuff. So I'd be keen to see how configurable it is and whether you can catch that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because obviously we put the rules on the web. The rules used to be internal to SSW.
Yeah.
And I'm always conscious that the developers are not thinking that this is public.
Yep, that's right.
So this is excellent. Yeah. Awesome. Next news. We have GitHub Copilot. Now I think almost all the devs at SSW are using this. Now it's about $100 a year, right?
About that, yeah.
So this is $19 per month per user, which sounds a bit more expensive.
It's for business.
Yes.
So $100 a month is for personal use.
Right. Okay. Anyway, so they're ready for real business. There you go. Next piece of news is the GitHub app in Slack and Teams. Now I don't use, I don't care about Slack too much. But I do care about this one. So here we go, the GitHub app. And what you'll see now is, this is always improving. And I can now comment. Okay, so there we go. There's a few other features, so let's jump back. What have they got? Well, there's all the Slack features. Let's pass by the Slack features. What have they got new in Teams? Improve, create an issue functionality. Nice.
So you can create an issue directly within Teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
And enhance PR notification in the same place. And you can comment. Great.
Yeah, which is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, next piece of news. Microsoft Teams is getting a sign language view. So if you remember when we were getting the COVID updates every day, we had the Premier giving us the rundown, and there's always a person doing sign, right? So what's the story here?
So the story here is that when you're on a call in Teams, different people get focus at different times, and that means that potentially someone who is a sign language interpreter who's signing for the people that are hearing impaired on the call, their video view might get shrunk down really small. If you've got a lot of people on Teams, because Teams focuses on people that are speaking, that person could, if you've got a lot of people on the call, that person could even go off entirely. So what you can do is you can actually designate someone as a sign language interpreter, and teams will always keep them in focus and keep them nice and big so people can see them easily.
I had never thought of that problem. So that's like a hearing impaired person or a deaf person watching. Every time it went away, it was like sound going off. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
really frustrating. Oh,
yeah,
so
it's
that's
really
good.
cool. Yeah.
So I wonder if that has other purposes.
Right.
Like focusing on a person, like the product owner, making sure he's there and...
Yeah, I'm sure we can configure teams to make sure that you're always in focus on calls, Adam.
Right, not me, someone else.
Okay.
Next piece of news, ChatGPT. ChatGPT, some would say it's super new. It seems to be for the whole world super new, but it is based on the OpenAI engine, which we've had for a while. Have you been playing with it?
I have, yeah. It's really, really good. It's really good. I've been using it conversationally. I've had some philosophical debates with it. I've used it for learning things. I've used it for learning things about code as well.
We should say what it is.
We should say what it is, shouldn't we? Yeah.
It's a person to chat to.
Kind of, yeah. It's a conversation AI.
Yes.
Right. So it's based on the GPT model, and it's trained on a large data set. But unlike what we've had before, which is the playground and the completion API and that kind of stuff, it's conversational. So you can engage with it, and it's got really, really good natural language processing. So you can ask it things in a kind of abstract way, and it interprets them correctly without fail, in my experience. And it gives you a conversational response as well.
It's incredible. Everyone's having a lot of fun with it. It is insanely popular. I just went to show it, give a demo, and it is stuck at capacity right now. So I went to OpenAI. We'll have a look at that. Oh, that's also stuck. So I can't really give you a demo, but I thought I would tell you something funny, because one of the software developers at SSW has a brother, and his job is at the university marking papers, and he's always marking papers. And he found out what the current topic was and asked for some feedback. So let me just show you that feedback. So Callum put into the OpenAI engine, write an essay on the subject of ocean acidification, including several inline academic references in APA format. Right, so he sent it to his brother and just said, I just wanted some feedback on what mark this would get. Didn't tell him about this, and he sent this, and his brother said, probably a distinction. I checked his references here, were all correct, all look pretty good. And Callum said, what if I told you that I did that myself in 30 seconds flat?
Yeah.
His brother just couldn't believe that's possible. So if you're a uni student right now, if you're a lecturer, you're really stuck at the moment. Like it's right in this transitional stage, and this can happen everywhere.
It's going to be very difficult for markers to determine whether or not this is someone's own work. Now,
is it against the rules?
Oh, absolutely.
Right now?
Yeah, I think this would come under plagiarism.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the challenge, so when you write a longer piece at university, like a dissertation, you do what they call a viva, right, where you meet with your supervisor and they basically interrogate you about it. So you have to be able to defend what you've written on the spot. So, and really the main reason they do that is to counter plagiarism, and that's how they determine that you know the subject. So they're going to have to start doing this for every piece of work that people are turning in at uni.
Well, I got to tell you, if like one of the big problems is being blocked. By using this to kickstart you, this really is a very healthy way of getting going. You know, as long as you can get that. All right, okay. There's some ideas. That's not my idea. I'll run with what I'm thinking now.
One of the things I've used it for is for getting unblocked on my book.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I haven't got it to write chapters or full sections for me, but I've put in when this is the topic that I want to explain. I've written the code, I've written the demo. Now I need to start explaining it, and I'm just staring at the screen, and I write a sentence, and I delete it, and I write another sentence, and I just can't get started. So I go to ChatGPT, and I'm like, explain in one sentence this topic, and it just starts giving me a sentence, and from there, oh, okay, cool. And then, you know, I don't necessarily use that, but
Right.
absolutely that gets me going.
Right, okay. A few months ago, I did a blog post and just essentially used the AI engine.
Yeah.
And I changed a couple of figures around, and then I did that just to see if anybody would notice. And then the next blog post, I said the last one was generated.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one had noticed, and everyone was surprised. So I hope you enjoyed the news. Thank you, Matt, for joining us.
Thank you.
We've got our channel here, which has 37,000 subscribers, plenty of great videos. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you've been good, and I'm wishing you a Merry Christmas. And I hope there's plenty of presents for you. Are you doing the presents with your kids?
Absolutely, yeah.
Santa Claus exists?
Yes.
The whole
yes,
thing? Yes.
That's right. I might have to borrow your Santa suit.
My wife didn't want to do Santa, but I insisted.
Oh, okay.
I always loved it, and when I discovered that Santa didn't exist, I always said, but where was who ate the food? we left out the food, there was crumbs everywhere, it was evidence.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, you're not going to eat those, they're not vegan, are they?
That's right, no, I'm not going to eat
There you go. Oh, more for me, and ho ho ho, I will see you in 2023. This is Adam Cogan signing off for SSW TV.